Hello world, it is Monday, July 17th, 2023, and looking out the window at Defiance. It's a warm, humid day already. It was 69 degrees when I went running this morning, but very humid and kind of hazy. I'm thinking, I haven't seen anything on the news, but I'm thinking it's probably smoke again from the wildfires in Canada. So be careful out there. The devotion for today is entitled The Cat Who Walked by Faith, written by Lillian Daniel. And Lillian bases the devotion upon 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 7, New Revised Standard Version. So we are always confident, even though we know that while we are at home in the body, we are away from the Lord, for we walk by faith, not by sight. And Lillian writes, a container of Kentucky Fried Chicken appeared to be dancing in the middle of the dark street with a life of its own, so we stopped to investigate. Out of the chicken box crawled a terribly skinny kitten with long black fur and bright white paws. She had been making that box dance as she tried to lick out the last crumb for nourishment. Now she purred, leaning into me with her whole body. We adopted that little stray and named her Little Boots. Little Boots thrived with cat food, a trip to the vet, and lots of love, but she remained very small and displayed the silliest behavior. She would sneak up on our other cats as if to attack them, but then she would be right in front of them in plain sight. By the time she pounced, the cats had moved away. She couldn't figure out how they knew she was coming. It was only when we found her walking on a second-story porch rail, precariously sticking her paw out into the air to feel for her next step, that we realized the obvious. Little Boots was blind. My admiration of that cat's resilience multiplied. Nothing stopped her. When she ran into a wall, she turned back and ran the other way. When she walked into a piece of furniture, she remembered where it was the next time. She didn't sit still. Her little white paws were always out in the air in front of her, testing to find her next foothold. To my eyes, Little Boots was tiny and the world was dangerous. But to Little Boots, life was walked by faith, not sight. And Lillian's prayer. Wonderful Creator, you have populated your world with so many creatures, and we human beings are but one example of your handiwork. Help us to see your majesty in all of your animals, from the roaring lion to the courageous kitten. Amen. Well, one thing this devotion made me think of is something I often say, and I've said this on devotions before. We don't know what we don't know until we know, and we can't unknow it. And in a way, Little Boots didn't know she was blind. And so she didn't let it stop her. And sometimes I think when we're faced with things in life, what we don't know can actually help us, because sometimes what we think we know keeps us from doing what we need to do or want to do or should do. But sometimes it's good to be just like a blind kitten and to be brave, and to live the life that you can live as full as you can live it, and learn from bumping into furniture, using other senses to fill in the gaps. I think it's applicable to our lives as well. And also, this devotion made me wonder about God's creation and the incredible diversity, and how people and animals are never perfect, in the sense of having everything working the way it should. And we make a way in the world still, with love and laughter sometimes, and with courage at other times, and sometimes courage that we don't even know we have. We just do what we think we need to do without thinking about it. Anyway, those are my thoughts that came to mind reading this devotion. Maybe you have something else to glean from the story that Lillian gave. So, hope you have a good day, and I hope to talk to you again tomorrow.